Well, welcome in everybody to another edition of Countdown to Kickoff with the Sharp app. I'm your host, Dal Walsh. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at 14A Walsh, and also make sure you follow the Sharp app there as well on Twitter at the Sharp app. Now, typically, I love to go through nice big old grand opening here at the beginning, but we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the geek is in the building here. The guy sleeps 50 feet away, everyone. But he's in
What?
here. He's on a schedule, making time to come in here for 15 minutes. So much appreciated, Kev. How's everything?
Man, great. This is like the marathon of football weekend. I hope no one went to work today. I hope you took off tomorrow. I hope you got wings on order because you got to have pizza and wings for this kind of doubleheader tonight, but I'm excited.
Yes, indeed. Did you stay away from the COVID and all that?
I ain't got no COVID, man. I don't leave the house. I'm fine.
All right.
I
They
figured
got
out the
me.
secret. They got you?
They got
'Cause
me. I midweek I had some symptoms, and then over the weekend I tested positive. But I'm all right. I'm good. Like everything is passed. I'm fine.
You think you got
What
the
did you
Omicron?
find out here?
I was gonna say you got the Omicron. You got the Omicron, the Shiva Kamini
I
Selma
did.
Omicron, as I like to call it.
I did.
Uh,
But what did you find out? You said you found out a secret. This could save the country, possibly.
Yeah. I do have the secret for not getting COVID. Never leave the house.
Okay. All right. I can do that.
I use
guess
apps, DoorDash bringing me food all the time. I got no reason to go anywhere. And keep
you
your
got to
kids
go
away
right
from
through
me.
the restaurant. You got to go right through the restaurant. They're gutting the restaurant industry, that Grubhub and whatnot. All right, so let's get to the two games here. We got two. First one here, Raiders at Browns. I mean, line movement has been wild. We can go all the way back to last week when this was Browns 6.5. We saw it go to Browns plus 4.5. Saw it go to Browns -3. Now it's at Browns +3. From what we saw on the Sharp app, we're seeing sharp money on the Browns here. They do have Nick
Barely.
Mullins playing quarterback tonight for the Browns. Decent stats. I'll run over them later when I'm doing the solo bit here. But what you agree here with the sharp money on the Browns?
Listen, what I agree with is I don't think the Browns are downgraded at all by the fact that Baker is out and Mullins is in. I don't think it makes a difference. So there are other areas that people aren't probably paying that close attention to that are concerning for the Browns. Have like 14 players or 15 players out for this game. It's not just the quarterback. It's not just Jarvis Landry. There's like 15 guys offensive. I don't want to go through the list. I have it here somewhere, actually. I legitimately here. I mean, I have the list, and it's a lot of players. It's Jadeveon Clowney is out. Mac Wilson is out. Tony Fields, linebacker. Jacob Phillips, linebacker. Ronnie Harrison, safety. John. Their whole team is out.
Yeah.
Austin Hooper's out. Jarvis Landry's out. There are a lot of players out for the Browns. Unprecedented. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and we saw it wasn't like a similar mass situation, right? Where the Rams took care of business of the Cardinals on Monday night last week. We all thought, all right, these guys are out. We're going to jump right on them. But listen, there's a lot of talented guys there in the NFL that can certainly pick it up. No Darren Waller for the Raiders again. We've certainly seen them struggle a lot without him. Any plays to sort of maximize on his absence?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's been the last weeks without Darren Waller. So we've seen Foster Moreau come in, and he's fine. He's not, he's getting 5 or 6 targets a game, and he's fine. I think he'll get a couple targets in this one. I think the player that you might want to take a shot on here, if we're looking at the props, is Jacobs to score a touchdown. I think Josh Jacobs he's not the best player. He's not somebody that we love. He's a disappointment machine, pretty much. But he's a disappointment machine. But you can get his. Let me pull up on the Sharp app.
Sure.
Let's pull up his prop here. But to score a touchdown for Josh Jacobs, you can get pretty much plus 100 on DraftKings and FanDuel for that 50-50 props. And I like that. I like that prop for Josh Jacobs. I think he could score a touchdown in this game. As far as my reasoning, I'm just thinking that without a tight end and without really a touchdown scoring wide receiver on the Raiders, that it's likely going to try to smash one in. There's no Kenyon Drake. There's really no competition at running back for Josh Jacobs. I kind of like that. I'll take the 50-50 shot that Josh Jacobs puts one in the end zone in this game. And it's funny. I like the Raiders side of this game. I get a lot of people like the Browns, and I do see that the sharp money, according to the Sharp app handles, we see that, 40%, it's not a lot of sharp money. 40% of the tickets are on Cleveland, but 50% of the money, meaning a little bit more big tickets, are on the Browns. But that's just going to happen anytime a line swings a lot because of news. There's an automatic quote unquote sharp play that says ignore that and just play that one side. But I don't know. I think they are playing a little bit hand tied behind their back, and I do think the Raiders are in a better spot for this game. So I'm going to lean actually against the Sharps a little bit personally, and be on the Raiders here to actually play fine and cover that 2.5.
Okay. Anthony, our boy, gave out a free pick earlier today on this game, over 40.5 points there in the Discord for all the Sharp members. So make sure you scoop up on that one. I like the 40.5. I think it's interesting because I think everybody sees Nick Mullins' name in there and they think, this guy's at quarterback. But we've seen him play quarterback for the Niners before. 2018, he threw for 12 touchdowns, 10 picks. 2020, 12 touchdowns, 12 picks. So the guy's got some, he's got some tosses there in his NFL career. It's just, who's he going to get it to?
Nick Mullins is about as good of a QB3 as you can ask for in the NFL. He has experience. He started games before. He didn't look terrible He did not look terrible for the 49ers when he started. He had a great game against this Raiders.
Yes,
team.
He did. That's right.
Specifically, I remember Nick Mullins. I remember being like, oh, okay. That's DFS. I remember all that. So I don't mind. I like I said, I don't think that's my whole the reason.
Losing Geek here. Cutting out here on the internet. All right. We'll see if we get him back here in a sec. What I think he wanted to say, though, with Nick Mullins in the game, this is an opportunity for the Browns to, kind of be somebody a little different. No Kareem Hunt in the lineup tonight, as Geek mentioned there. So, that could be a tough spot there. I'm going to see if we can get Geek back in here now if the internet is working. We'll see if we see him working again there. But yeah, Nick Mullins, as I mentioned, he's got some history here in the NFL. Obviously not one of the the brighter pass there in the NFL, but as I mentioned, 12 touchdowns in each of his 2 seasons where he saw significant work. Granted, he was getting the plays called from Kyle Shanahan there in San Francisco. That usually helps everybody out. Geek back with us right now. But I was just telling them how about Nick Mullins.
Yeah, Nick Mullins was good. And again, I'm giving you a little advance warning. I'm having some internet issues. Was just on the phone with Cablevision people, fucking pissed off and whatever. So we'll see what happens with all that. But moving on to the other game.
Okay.
I'm really interested in the Bears. I like this game, and I like the Bears side. I like getting the points. I like getting the 7. And the reason is Vikings just play close games. I mean, have you watched? Like every game is close.
I certainly have. I actually just saw a stat that we would love to use for this game. Vikings 0-7 against teams with a losing record this season.
Yeah, they play close games and they lose close games. So I like the Bears a little bit. I think Fields has played better each week. They've got Montgomery back. That's a good weapon for them. There are some COVID issues on the Bears as well. Let me see if I can get to them here. Chicago.
Yeah, I was reading a couple. I think they're going to have like half their guys back. I think like the biggest name that's out is Andy Dalton, and everyone's all right with that.
Yeah, and they got some defensive backs out. Duke Shelley, Eddie Jackson, Larry Barome, who is a offensive lineman who is a starter, is going to be out. So Elijah Wilkinson, they have some players out. But that being said, I just, the Vikings find a way to lose games. That's what they do. They've done it all year. And I don't mean that. I don't necessarily think they're going to lose a game or win a game. I just think, give me the points. I'll take +7. I could see the Bears jumping out to a lead. Like, it could happen. And then the minute, like last night, the minute your team is out ahead, like, we had the Saints as the big play last night in the free Discord for Sharp. By the way, if you're watching this on the Sharp app, or you're not, first of all, if you're not, download the Sharp app right now. There's a banner on the Sharp app that says join our Discord. Okay, it's at the top of the main page. And if you join our Discord, every single primetime slate, we've got a free channel for primetime that everybody jumps into. Everybody can watch the game together. We usually give out a free bet for our favorite primetime plays. We sweat them out, a few free bets. So we got a lot of primetime stuff going on. So if you're a Sharp app subscriber, if you're a user, whatever, you're on the free, make sure you click on the link, join our Discord. And then every primetime game, you can hang with us. We give our favorite bets for the game. We all sweat it out together as a community. It's a lot of fun. And if you haven't noticed that we do that, check it out. So when you're on the Sharp app, you could just go to the main page, the homepage. There's a banner up top. You scroll over to join our Discord community. It's totally free to join the Discord community. Of course, we have a VIP version, an upgraded version where you get all the plays from all the picks, and you have coaches channels and all of that. But if you want to just hang in our Discord and hang out with us on primetime slates, you can do it. We give out our favorite plays. We've been crushing those. I think we're 4 out of 5 over the last 5 primetime slates or something really good. We missed the Rams Arizona one. What's that?
The chart was it? Oh, all right. No.
The Rams Arizona one was a pretty gross miss, but we should have known. Gargano put out Rams as a pizza bet, and we never go against a pizza bet. Never.
Yeah. By the way, I have that was actually the downslide. I got a Cardinals plus 650 NFC West ticket, and it is just like,
yeah, that's not looking
awful.
Good. That's not.
It ain't look good.
No.
Oh goodness. Are you one of these people that subscribes? And I'll get you out on this one. Are you one of the people that subscribes to Bears Better without Allen Robinson?
This season it's been better. Yes. I mean, I don't subscribe to it as a long-standing philosophical approach.
The Geek cut out again. He did tell us he was having internet issues, so it looks like he'll be done on that one. I know it was a struggle to get anybody on the show today. I actually had 2 people lined up because they got COVID. They couldn't come on. So that was a big mess. And then I tried to get a whole bunch of other people here involved in the show. And just, because it was such late notice, things, listen, this is showbiz, man. Things don't go according to plan as they always should. But, we definitely thank Geek for his time. If he comes back on, we appreciate it. But, the man is certainly busy and, gotta move on with Adam. But one same game parlay that I really like tonight. This should be good. So David Montgomery to score a touchdown. And then you can kind of shift this one a little if you want. So Dalvin Cook has minus 250 odds to score a touchdown tonight, whereas Justin Jefferson is at minus 140. You would think either one of those guys, 2 of the main key cogs there in the Minnesota Vikings offense, you would think that at least one of them would get it. So you could even do 2 same game parlays if you want. The one that I did there, I got to pull this one up again with Jefferson because I believe that one amounted out to plus 420 on the odds. So, you're putting something like $25 up. You could probably get back 110. But those 2 guys, Montgomery to score a touchdown, and then we could kind of flip it back and forth between Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. But we also want to manipulate the total on this one too. So what I did there is I brought the total down to 42.5. If you look at the rush chart, which is on sharp.app and sharpbets.com, you're going to be able to see a lot of where the sharp money was coming in throughout the week. And I'm sorry, I call that one the rush. This one was on the menu, the one with the sharp report and everything like that Anthony does a great job of putting together. But you can see that earlier in the week, sharp money came in at over 43 on this Bears-Vikings game. And, you typically want to get that total as far down as possible, right? If we manipulate the total here down to 42.5, we're going to get 160 odds on that individual bet right there, right? So what that does is that puts us in a spot to win if the game turns out to be a 23-20 game or something like that. That's, you kind of want to give yourself every possible angle that you could. Going up to 43.5 doesn't really do as much, but I think if we go there to 42.5, that is a good spot. All right, so within the same game parlay, I've got the 42, and then we got to look at the touchdowns. By the way, I use Caesar Sportsbook. That is the best as far as where you can be putting your money. All right, so Jefferson went up to -170. That's all right. And then David Montgomery there. So this actually drops down to +390 right now. So $25 bet. Pretty nice payout right there at 122.50 as you would get back right there. So that's definitely the same game parlay that I'm going to go with there. I'm going to go with Jefferson, but just for conversation's sake, we could see what Dalvin Cook would look like there. And then that comes down to +320. That's not too bad. $25 payout, you're getting back 105 right there. So I tell you what, I could be coaxed into going with both here. I think you're getting a pretty nice payout on either one. And again, obviously you want to go for more money there. You can certainly get a bigger payout there. So nice little same game parlay there to start. To end the night actually in that game as the second one. You know, as I mentioned, we talked about this total. It's odd, right? Because I wrote about the game earlier today. You can find my breakdown on us-odds.com. And, what I talk about in that game is the weather. This is not that bad tonight out in Chicago. Typically we think of it as the Windy City, and this is not going to be that. I believe temperatures we're going to see probably lower 30s. The wind, though, right? Like that's usually what's a factor in Chicago. It's not going to be tonight. Probably looking at 8-mile-an-hour winds during game time. No rain, no snow, nothing like that. So this is a nice spot for the offenses. And I think when I see that +7 or there for the Bears, right? Like you probably have to imagine that some points are going to be scored. Kirk Cousins, that duo, or I'm sorry, that trio there of Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. Now, an interesting injury note from this too. Adam Thielen had an ankle injury going into this one, and he is going to test it out pregame. Going to be that true game time decision. A lot of mixed reports on him this week. Wasn't really sure if he was going to play. Some said yes, some said no. But you got to test it out, right? Especially in the cold weather there in Chicago. So you never know how that ankle is going to respond. I personally, I read something before the beginning of the week, before the weekend, and it did not look like Thielen would play, and I guess we're seeing a couple more recent reports that say he's going to try to tough it out. So if he does play, does that mean he's more or less just a decoy or, somebody that's just going to do limited work? So I think that this is a big night for Jefferson. I talked about him today in that same article that I wrote on us-odds.com. And his prop tonight to get over receiving yards is at 96.5, right? And you got the juice leaning heavily on the under there. So I don't know if that's the way I go. Of course, you're not getting a lot of value there, right? You're essentially betting on a guy, even money, to get over 100 yards. But he faced the Bears, right? Like last year was his rookie season. He faced them twice. He got over 100 yards in both games, 8 receptions in each of those games, 21 targets in total. Man, you can't stop this guy. You can try to contain him, but it's not going to work that well. I think too, when we look at the total in this game, no Allen Robinson there for the Bears. It's something that's, I think it makes Justin Fields a lot more comfortable. When you got a guy, Allen Robinson, you got to stick him to the outside. That's not typically where a rookie quarterback is going to throw the football. I know Justin Fields has the arm strength, but a lot of chaos going around in that pocket, especially a lot of earlier games that he did. He just did not look comfortable there at all. But this is a good opportunity for him to get back. And, his best game of the year was that Monday night game at Pittsburgh. So maybe the kid likes the lights, a little bit of trouble here early on with them in a couple of those games. But as I mentioned, last 2 Bears games, they've had totals of 55 and 75 points. The return of David Montgomery really helps this Bears team a lot too. So I am absolutely loving the points. That's why we've seen it get steamed all the way from 43 up to 45.5 now I'm seeing at Caesar Sportsbook. So again, I would love to take that over, but I'd like to get it at a better number, certainly. But if you need to buy any points, I think, with that same game parlay that we talked about earlier with David Montgomery, and then either Dalvin Cook or Justin Jefferson, and then manipulating the total down to 42.5 going over. And that's what should work out for us tonight. And of course, the free pick from Anthony, which everybody saw in the Discord channel there, who's a Sharp app member. Bears +7 in this one is what the guys are going with. So I definitely wanted to talk yesterday about Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, I don't know what the hell went on there. 9-0 shutout loss to the New Orleans Saints. This was just a night of disaster from the start. I know that the guys here on the Sharp app all took the New Orleans Saints last night, and and good on them, right? Like, you look at that spread, and especially after we watched the game, seeing it at +11, right? Like, duh, of course that should have happened. But I thought Vegas was trying to play some tricks on us. Typically, so the first matchup earlier this season, I had this innate ability to predict Bucks upset losses earlier this season, and worked out pretty damn well. Especially that game against New Orleans earlier this season. It was just, it was a line that you could tell, like, all right, Tampa Bay is not going to do great. I think they were only maybe like -170 on the money line. Maybe even like a 3.5 point favorite, something like that. Nothing big against the Saints. And the Saints smoked them in that game, just like they have in each of the last 4 regular season games that these teams have played. And, it's so weird that the Buccaneers got that lone victory in the playoff meeting there against the Saints. But, as Chris Collinsworth said last night on the broadcast, that tape will be the most highly coveted piece of film or evidence, in the history of football right now, because Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the Saints, who, he's put together some fantastic game plans. I don't know if you guys caught it, but they showed his overall record last night before the game. I think 8-25 when he was the coach of the Oakland Raiders. And, I remember seeing that stat last night and being like, it's going to be very nice to see him. But props to him, man. He's certainly doing something, getting on Brady. But, those injuries really hurt too. Godwin, turns out he's got a sprained MCL today. That's really bad news for the Bucs. Mike Evans got a hamstring injury. He should, Bruce Arians said that he should be back pretty soon. Thank God Antonio Brown's coming back. If you guys were smart enough to keep him stashed away on your fantasy roster after the fake COVID card ordeal or whatever, it looks like he's going to be a number 1 receiver heading into, the final 4 of your fantasy playoffs. So, that's just so on brand for 2021, whatever the hell year we're in now. But that certainly spells a lot of trouble for the Bucs coming up. And, I'm really hoping that, just from a personal level, these guys can get it together. But luckily, their final 3 games to close out the season are the Carolina Panthers, the New York Jets, and the Carolina Panthers. So I think they're going to be just fine. All right. Looking at the game that we got coming up here at the top of the hour, 5:00 Eastern, we got the Raiders at the Browns in this. As I mentioned, man, the line movement on this has just been an absolute circus show. We go all the way back to Monday the 13th, where the Browns were favored by 6.5. On the 16th, we see the Browns at +4.5. Yesterday, Browns were even 3-point favorites. And then today, here they are probably going to close up here as 3-point dogs. So, Nick Mullins, I think a lot of people have faith in this Browns team, no matter what the situation is. We saw a similar situation earlier this season on Thursday Night Football where, the Browns were missing Baker Mayfield. They had quite a bit of injuries that night, actually. And that was Dernish Johnson night, if I'm not mistaken. And, they were missing Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That's right. And, and they still pulled it out. Everybody thought, all right, Browns don't have enough in this game. And the Broncos had absolutely no shot in that game. Now, can we say, sure, short week travel for Denver, having as a West Coast team, having to come east to play Cleveland, that's always a detriment there. But, here we go. And I kind of like this narrative for the Raiders tonight, though. So the free pick, once again, we had was over 40.5 points on this one. But I really like the narrative for the Raiders being pissed off in this game. If we're talking about a lot of these teams, look, the team that they're playing tonight, the Browns, they were afforded some graces that a lot of teams have not been afforded here in the NFL season. So if I'm the Raiders, I am really pissed off. I am really trying to take it to the Browns in this one. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing in the -3. I know that sharp money is barely here on the Browns. However, I think that, when we look at the Raiders and kind of they need to get some wins going, right? Like it's about damn time. There was a really funny bet that somebody made earlier this season. I got to go back to it, but I think it was the night actually that John Gruden got fired. Ravel or somebody like that posted the story, but this guy made a bet that the Raiders would only win one more game for the rest of the season, right? And he put like stupid money on it. He put like $5,000 on it. So where are we here? All right, so the bet is the Raiders have to win one more game, or else I'm sorry, if the Raiders lose the last 4, then he wins his bet, right? So whenever the whole Gruden debacle happened, he did that, and so he's got one more Raiders win left on his string. If not, he loses that bet. But I can't believe like a sports book would even take that. Like that's not even your traditional bet that you would have there. But hey, whatever works. I know PointsBet does a lot of cool stuff like that. If you have a bet in mind that you would like to place there, you can place it and they'll take the action on it. So that's pretty awesome. No Darren Waller again here for the Raiders tonight. So I know everybody's a big Moreau fan, or they were at one point, and now they kind of gotta learn to live with it again. He was never really my cup of tea there, Mr. Foster there for the Raiders. But look, there's certainly a need, and these guys are going to have to move the football. Waller's a big piece of that offense that really just, you're not going to replace him. And that's why you've seen the Raiders with a 1-4 record here over the last 5 games. This is a piece that you just need to have in your system. So, in other news from this game, just this odd sort of 5 o'clock start time. What time zone are you in, Cleveland? They are in the East, right? Yeah, of course they're Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, so they're going to be going off here right at 5 o'clock. Big game here in the AFC standings, man. They both teams. Well, we've got Cleveland there at 7-6. This was remarkable too. I don't know if you guys were watching the show there on Sunday night there for NBC, where they had the percentages of each team to make the playoffs. And I think it was the guy that does like all those political maps and the charts and everything like that. And he had some serious percentage breakdowns there within there. But the most important thing is that if the Browns win tonight, they're going to jump all the way up to that number 4 spot there and knock out the Cincinnati Bengals. And I guess the Bengals would drop down basically to either the 8 or the 9 spot right there. We got the Bills right there at 8-6 carrying on there. So, I mean, this should be a fun game, like I know we kind of say, oh my God, this is great. We got happy hour football on a Monday, but end of the day, it's the Raiders at the Browns. I mean, it's another gambling opportunity. That's great, right? Like I know that, we got the over 40.5 in this game. We should certainly be happy about the opportunity with that. Nick Mullins, man, I'm very excited about this. I've definitely said Nick Mullins more times in this podcast than I ever intended to, but you gotta give it up for the man. He's the starting quarterback tonight at home against the Raiders. This is this is big stuff right here. Looking at the injury report, I think Geek touched on it a little bit. Not a ton that, I think that's new anyway. Mayfield, Landry, Hunt, all going to miss the game today. I just saw somebody in the Discord channel. They actually mentioned a bet where Nick Chubb, 2 touchdowns would be plus 450 on this one. So, I could certainly get behind that, especially with no Kareem Hunt. Do we maybe see a little D'Ernest Johnson in this one? I think he might even be hurt, isn't he? I don't know. But it could be a huge night here for Nick Chubb going up against this Raiders defense. Also, too, Raiders have had their issues on defense. I know that they bring a nice pass rush sometimes. You got Crosby there up front, but against the run this season, the Raiders are 26th allowed, 26th in yards allowed per carry. While we're looking at the Browns offense, they're 4th in both DVOA and yards per carry. So certainly love the prop bet situation there for Mr. Chubb. Looking at Chubb tonight, let's take a look at some more of his prop bets. It's all me. It's all solo. It's funny when you do these podcasts solo, you think that, you're just absolutely like crushing time. I feel like I went through like an hour's worth of material, and it was like 6 minutes from when I thought that. Unbelievable. I gotta get used to it. I usually have a host when I'm here. All right, let's see here. So looking at Chubb, in order for him, this would be nice. So first touchdown score tonight, plus 380 there for him. Next closest is going to be Josh Jacobs at plus 430. And then aside from those guys, Hunter Renfrow plus 600. He's become the main target here for Carr now that Waller and then now that Waller's been out, and then of course Ruggs, him being out too. So Renfro's just sort of soaked up all those empty targets or all those vacated targets, and certainly made the most of them. Also looking at Chubb with massive odds to just score a touchdown in general tonight there at minus 190. Yowzers. Good for you, kid. And to score, so I'm looking at Caesars here, plus 280 there for Chubb to score the two touchdowns. So that's certainly a different number, I guess, than what I saw. I mean, maybe something else was attached to it. I was reading off the bottom of the Discord there, so we'll see. But yeah, that could certainly be the way to go there with Chubb. And I believe that'll do it for the Cleveland-Oakland breakdown. One thing I also wanted to touch on, we've been doing a lot of this stuff here at the Sharp app, trying to hone in on all that free money that the sports books are giving out there. So Caesars has an interesting an interesting deal going on today. So according to their website, hopefully you got the email today, everyone, but bet $75 on the total points market, I mean the over or the under, in tonight's Vikings-Bears game, and you could receive a free bet equal to the total points scored by both teams tonight if your side wins, right? So remember, we really love the over in this game. However, Caesars being a little sneaky here, they've moved that total all the way up to 45.5. 45 was, that's a key number, right? You're at least getting your 24 to 21 game in that one. However, I think that in this instance, right, because I'm just going to go out and be an ass, and I'm going to assume here, right, I'm going to make an ass out of you, me, and everybody else, but I'm going to assume that you cannot take the altered total, like you can't buy points on this one. Rather, you're going to have to take whatever the total is. So you're going to have to take it there at 45.5 is what it looks like. That's okay, right? As I mentioned, remember, both Bears games are, but each of the last 2 Bears games have had 55 total points and then 75 total points in the last one. So there's that. Of course, Minnesota, they got the great offense. They're always playing close games. I mentioned the stat earlier, 0-7 against the spread against teams with a losing record this season. Right? Like, I think we're okay taking the 45.5. I wouldn't worry about the half point, although it'll probably trip us up. Bastards. But I would certainly take advantage of this. I think that going above that 45.5 is worth that stingy half point right there. So again, make sure you find that app or you find that email in your Gmail account, wherever you're getting your emails. Make sure you find that and then sign up for this deal today. Who knows, man? You might be getting a $50 free bet based on this game tonight. So that should be pretty awesome. Now, one thing that we also like to do, one of our guys over here, Rich Masana, has been doing a fantastic job with the arbitrage article. And basically what that means is finding these deals within all the different sports books and making the most of them with that money, right? So Rich found out a good one today. DraftKings, they have a free $50 that you can get on NBA Christmas Day. And you take that $50 and then, now what can you do with that $50? Can you, hit on a nice, easy, 3-point winner in a basketball game the next night, turn that into 100. Then what are we doing with that $100? So remember, we're going to keep this video right here. We're going to make this as the basis for making moves with free sportsbook money here, right? So we're going to take the money that we're going to get from taking the over tonight. We're going to take the points that we get from this, and then we're gonna move forward with that in article form. So that should be fun to kind of track our tail of where we go, and also we'll bring that free $50 in from DraftKings as well. You don't have to be limited to one sports book. You can sort of spread this thing out around many different places, and it's gonna be exciting to see what we come up with at the end. All right. So as we are about 25 minutes away from kickoff here, I really don't have too much more to add. So they're going to be signing off early on this one. Was not able to nail down a lot of guests today because of COVID. So hopefully you guys out there are keeping safe and taking your vitamins and everything. I am not a doctor, but let me just tell you, the zinc, my friends, that's where it's at. That's the good stuff. Make sure you're taking that, and then, hydrate in soups and everything and whatnot. Don't be one of these NFL teams. Don't have a breakout. Don't let it happen. It's Christmas this week. But I thank Kevin Epstein for coming on earlier today, the Geek. That was much appreciated. We had to have at least one guest on here today, but don't forget the picks today, as mentioned by our esteemed coaches here in the Sharp channel. We're going to go over 40.5 on the Browns-Raiders game. And then also we're going to go over, remember, it's a new total, over 45.5 there for the Bears-Vikings game. And make sure you attach that with your Caesars bet there, so you have so you get that free bet attached to it as well. And we're going to be going with the Bears +7 in this game as well. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Good luck tonight. And I will see you tomorrow where we'll have another show for the Eagles football team matchup and the Seahawks Rams as well. Take care. Peace.